YouTube, Lenny, roguewarriortraining.com. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to take a look at katate dori SHIHONAGE. This particular version that we're going to do is completely different compared to other applications in the way you see this. There's some considerable differences compared to normal katate dori SHIHONAGE. We've added some different type of ukemi. So let's get cracking on this video. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So, katate dori SHIHONAGE. There's a plethora of different types of versions of this technique. I've talked about other styles of Aikido, Iwama, Aikikai style, Yoshinkan. Everybody has their way of doing it. This is my way of one way that I do it. And this is a little bit more on the practical application side, more so than other ways how I would have shown it. And you'll see why. There's one thing I want to point out really quick. It's for people that understand the word Aikido. Most martial arts that have do in the title of the martial art, karate do, judo, aikido, kendo, iaido. Do means way, path, or harmony. Okay? Doesn't mean that it's the right way. It also doesn't mean that it's the wrong way. It can be interpreted as your way of doing things. So this is my way of doing things. Okay? So I've brought here today. Hi. Onegaishimasu. So first, katate dori, he grabs the wrist. Okay? Obviously there's a lot of other methods of application and how you can apply this. You can do this to where you're raising your hand up, kokyu, go underneath, apply technique, and throw, as well as go down with a traditional, if you will, pinning technique. There's other ways I can show, other ways I can do a video on with this, but this way that I'm going to show you is unique in a sense that most people, most Aikido dojos don't incorporate these little small things. And one of them is, the second that he grabs you, okay, from this perspective, the intent behind this is he's going to want to hit you with the other hand. Okay, that's why you get this type of maneuver, this kokyu movement to grab the wrist, go under, and do SHIHONAGE. You're trying to avoid being hit. So you are disrupting his center so he can't get the punch off. Okay, you could also do this to where you're grabbing underneath and raising his arm up to take him off balance as you're moving in front, or as you are performing ura to the rear and throwing him. Okay. This way, here comes the fun part. So as he grabs, this cannot be a 1, 2, 3 step process. This all happens at the same time. Now I want to exercise caution when you're doing this with your uke, your partner, whomever that you're doing this with. We're going to incorporate a headbutt strike to the uke's face. Now, let me point out, you do not want to strike head to head, because some people have harder heads than other people. B, you don't want to do that for the sake of causing injury to yourself. Okay? The eyebrow area is a sensitive area to where you can easily create a laceration on yourself or somebody else, and then obviously blood will start pouring down into your face, and that's pretty much going to be a game changer. You're not going to be able to see what you're doing because it's going to impede your ability to perform technique. So you have to be able to grab onto him as he's grabbing onto you. The other thing that I'm incorporating into this is I'm stepping on his forward foot so he cannot escape. Once this is done, and that headbutt is done all at once, typical reaction of a person in uke is once they get struck in the face, you're trying to hit basically the nose and the mouth area, somewhat the soft tissue of the face. You're not trying to hit forehead to forehead, skull to skull. You're basically taking your forehead, the corner of your forehead, and smashing it into the soft tissue of the face, okay? That's another way to disrupt somebody's concentration and their intent behind the attack. The minute that you inflict pain, it is going to take away from his attack, and it's going to allow you to do the SHIHONAGE. This is a really good way to make techniques work by incorporating ukemi into the application. It's going to be harder for that person to resist you applying technique, number one, because the pain is going to take away from the actual intent behind the attack. Also, stepping on his foot, you're stopping him from escaping after he gets hit, because most people, once they get hit, they're gonna go with the flow of the strike, and they're probably gonna step back and try to escape. So you're gonna step on them to keep them in place so they can't escape, okay? And ukemi-wise, this is gonna be a straight down ukemi, and I'm gonna show a couple different variations of pins off of one particular pin, okay? And then I'm gonna show you how this will be done from a breakfall standpoint and how you can apply that from a breakfall standpoint. So as he goes to grab, immediately, this is step by step right now, okay? Immediately he grabs, you grab him, you step on his foot. And you're just not touching his foot, you step on it. So you lean forward. As you're leaning forward, you're pulling his hand into you. Now you're not pulling it into you to match the punch coming. You're pulling this on this angle across your center and headbutting him right in the face, okay? Put your face back, don't anticipate this straight. From here, you're gonna strike him right into the face, which is gonna cause immediate discomfort and pain. That is also going to stop this from happening. Remember, this is a step-by-step process. When this is done extremely fast and you come here, boom, you're hitting him right in the face. At that point, you're gonna raise this up. Notice how I have his wrist. I'm not holding him like this. I'm turning his wrist. This can turn into an ude kiminage. This can turn into a hiji shime. You can come back, do a kubi shime. But from the SHIHONAGE standpoint, you're moving up and you're raising this up with your arms to furthermore disrupt his body structure. From there, you're gonna release your foot off of his foot. You're gonna step underneath, not raising the arm up, because that's when he can pull his elbow straight down and disrupt your technique. That's if he recovers fast from the headbutt. But you're going to turn and circle the arm into the actual lock and then throw him down to the ground. At that point, you can move in front of him, still having this wrist turn, and apply this arm pen this way. You can drop down to seiza and apply this knuckle above his elbow, right on the bottom of his tricep, causes pain. You can put his hand, basically the way I have it, on top of your thigh, still not releasing your grip. Dislocate his elbow or break his elbow at that point. And you can follow through with a downward hammer fist strike, ukemi, right to the bridge of his nose, forehead, whatever you want. So you can finish off with a strike and then still holding on, shiko back, and then stand up, reset, and practice again. So one more time. He comes and grabs, step, smash the face, raise up, go underneath, and throw. If you want, you can just let go at that point as well and dump him and then maneuver around him so he's in front of you, step back, reset, do the technique again. So grab, start to turn after you step. So this is all one motion. Strike to the face, step in, straight down, roll. You could also do this pin from a standing position. Now let's back up real quick. So from here, as I move, I don't release this grip. I don't let this basically turn out. I let my hand maneuver around him while still creating the application of this joint lock. And you can do this from standing as well, or you can roll this over, grab his fingers, and apply this pin this way. If need be, you can move into an ikkyo pin, put him into a standing pin, and apply, and finish off. It's up to you how you want to finish technique. Now to make the ukemi, to get the ukemi more of an explosive ukemi, to where you're making the uke fall into a break fall to save himself from a broken arm, same application, strike, move through. As you come underneath, this is going to make him turn as an uke. He's going to turn into the application of SHIHONAGE. This gets applied. A lot of people just think that this is a lever and this is down. You're actually applying this and pulling up in a circular motion to get him to fall. You okay? Ready? And you throw. End of story, let go. He's done. One more time. So grab, strike, move through, throw. Finish in the position that you're in, move in front. Okay? For ukemi purposes as well, here, strike. Remember, this is fast and abrupt. Boom! You're hitting that, locking this up. You can even let go with this hand if you want and really emphasize this. See how he and I are normally the same height, but once I do this, he's much taller than me. Then you want to be careful that you, with your uke, that you don't inadvertently hurt him. Because a lot of people will do this and they'll crank on that without bringing this down for him to be able to take ukemi. So you got to take care of your uke. This is a pretty dangerous technique, okay? Right. So once you come through, you're going to circle his arm to where he's in this position. And you're going to close this in this position. You're going to pull up all at the same time. So when you're coming around, you're going to pull up and you throw. Uke's job is extremely important to see where he's going and how he's landing. Right? You do not, when you're in this position of break falling, when you're in this position of taking break fall, turn away from the throw to take the break fall. That is a very bad decision. The uke himself is probably going to inflict injury upon himself because he's not going to see where he's going. You always want to know where you're falling. And you want to think forward roll. A break fall is just an advanced way of doing a forward roll. But the break fall is basically allowing you to escape from the lock without injury. Okay? Obviously, somebody on the street, it's not going to matter. In the dojo, you want to make sure that the uke is constantly being aware of ukemi. So that's also the uke's job. So when you do this, you throw. So you could also let somebody roll out of this from this position. So as he can just roll out of this if he wanted to. Or if you wanted to let him. Okay? So one more time. So grab, step, strike to the face, raise up, boom, throw. Okay? If you notice, there was a slight hesitation on Rod's ukemi. You can't do that. If there's a slight hesitation and you're training with somebody that can't identify that within the technique, I felt that immediately. That is how you sustain an injury. Don't do that again. That's bad news. You do not want to do that. The second you start, go ahead, SHIHONAGE. Put me in the SHIHONAGE. Other hand. Once you go through SHIHONAGE, go ahead, go underneath. Right from here, if you're getting in the position of applying SHIHONAGE and I'm in the position of taking a break fall, and I'm like this, and you start to apply, and I stop, most people are going to continue going with this. You need to do what? let the technique happen for the sake of safety purposes. So then you would follow through with this. There should not be a pause in ukemi once the throw starts to take action and is applied. Okay? It's your job to protect yourself as the uke. 100% uke, 100% nage, and vice versa. I shouldn't have to worry about how you're going to take ukemi or how anybody else is going to take ukemi, and you shouldn't have to worry about how I'm going to take ukemi. Okay? Don't ever pause during technique. Even little teacher-student advice here, you don't ever want to do that. That's when bad things start to happen. Granted, this guy is the best 6Q I've ever seen, and he's not my 6Q, he's somebody else's 6Q, but he is my student as well. You always want to take that into account with ukemi. Even when you train with other people, the other people that are at your level, where you train at as well, they're not at your level, your skill level, because they can't take ukemi the way how you can. Correct? So, what I was told a long time ago is that the rank that you have, you cannot expect the people that you train with, especially if they're below you in rank, to train up to your level. You have to train down to their level. So if you're a Nidan, Shodan, and you're training with a guy that's a 5th Q or a 4th Q, you can never expect them to train up to your level. It's impossible. They can't do that. One day they will be at that level, but it's impossible. The senior student always has to train down to the level of the student that he's training with. I mean, obviously, if you've got a guy that's a 3rd Q, 2nd Q, the ukemi's amazing, you guys can rock and roll, that's completely fine. But if you're training with somebody that the ukemi is not that good, you cannot throw them into break falls or throw them fast with intent, assuming that they can take the ukemi. Okay? A lot of people that I've seen over the years, it's like when you try to teach people how to break falls, when you start teaching break falls, especially beginners, when you're teaching them rolls, I've seen this a lot with people that I get the impression that they feel like you're pushing them off the Grand Canyon. Okay? These mats are a far cry from the fall of the Grand Canyon. Okay? People need to get over their fears with ukemi, be able to take rolls and take break falls. The big thing is the people that are learning how to take ukemi, especially forward rolls, back rolls, forward break falls and such, it would be imperative that you follow the instruction of the sensei with those particular basic fundamental skills. Okay, if you're not following it in close detail, that's when, again, the uke ends up getting hurt. I mean, I've seen people take bad rolls, bad break falls, and they get caught up in the moment and they completely forget the proper way and how to do it. Okay, for safety factor alone. So one more time. Okay. So, katate dori, grab, strike to the face, move through, and throw. One more. So grab, boom, strike to the face, move through, and throw. So there you have it. That's katate dori SHIHONAGE. As you can see, I incorporated stepping on the foot, stopping the uke from escaping. Kikakuken, which is a headbutt strike, Japanese terminology. Strike the uke in the soft tissue part of the face, not the skull, the face. Nose, cheekbones, mouth especially. Apply, raising the arm, step through, hips first, apply the SHIHONAGE, throw them straight down to the ground with a variation of pin, or get them into position to take the break fall. One last tip. If you are the nage and you are intending to throw the uke into a break fall, God damn it, follow through. Don't get to the point of you get there to do it, because if the uke is thinking and is prepared for the break fall, and you go to throw and you stop, that could eventually turn bad as well. Okay? I tell this to a lot of my students, if you mess up on technique, keep doing the technique. Finish with something. Because the uke's mindset is he is taking ukemi, he's following through. If his momentum's already going and then you stop mid-technique, how is the uke going to recover from that? Obviously, if he's a good uke, he's going to be an Aikido Gumby and he's going to get out of it and he's going to be fine. But you have to look at it at all times in perspective of safety first with the uke. So be kind to your uke. Don't stop the technique. Okay? Follow through with the technique. Whether you get the technique or not, follow through with something to overall finish what you were doing. So, hype. Don't want to get to the laptop. So that's it. Katate dori SHIHONAGE. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. We've gotten a tremendous amount of subscribers over the past week. We have exponentially grown with the YouTube channel in the past week. It's been awesome. Drop a comment down below. And thanks for watching. See you next time.